Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. Today, I want to talk to you guys about why every fan of the character Code needs to be paying very close attention to the information that we got in the last manga chapter, because while everyone is paying attention to the hype that came from Boruto declaring he was going to kill Code and is using this brand new Rasengan that was in the process of forming at the end of the chapter, there were some strong and obvious flags being planted for the character Code that are hinting at the possibility that this Otsutsuki worshipping nutjob, when he is finally taken out of the story, whenever that happens, whether it be one chapter from now or 50 chapters from now, it's not going to be some glorious battle with Boruto. It's going to be a fate befitting of someone who worshipped the Otsutsuki, despite the fact this is a race that literally views people like Code as nourishment for a chakra fruit. All throughout the latest chapter, we had Boruto warning Code more than once that he's made a mistake and to destroy the Ten-Tailed soldiers while he still can. That implies there will come a time where Code will be unwilling to destroy those Ten-Tailed soldiers, despite the fact that he created them and he embedded in them a piece of his chakra with the intention of being able to control them. But here's the irony behind all of this. For someone who worships Ishiki as much as he does, to a point he was serving Ishiki's vessel Jigen like he was a priest, and literally calling Ishiki his god, Code has learned nothing from the betrayal of two people he looked up to the most. We were told in Boruto Naruto Next Generations that Kaguya betrayed Ishiki, wanting to take the chakra fruit for herself. Kaguya was expected to follow tradition of the Otsutsuki clan when it came to the purposes of having a chakra fruit harvested. She was supposed to find a compatible vessel on Earth when she came with Ishiki, give that vessel her karma, and then she was supposed to feed herself to the Ten-Tails in order to begin to start the process of harvesting a chakra fruit, which Ishiki as the superior rank Otsutsuki would then consume. However, Ishiki made the mistake of not seeing that Kaguya, for reasons we don't know yet, wanted the chakra fruit for herself, and that she had zero intention of following through with the plan, which is why she waited for Ishiki to be off guard and she attacked him, leaving him near death. Also, she could take the chakra fruit for herself. Ishiki thought Kaguya was under his control, and the truth is that she wasn't, and he was too arrogant to see this wasn't the case until it was too late. Code is making that mistake currently with the claw grind. Code is also making the mistake that Jigen made. When Jigen thought that he had Amato under his control, we saw in the chapter where Amato explains why he ended up working for Jigen, that he was approached by Jigen when he was a broken and desperate man. All his attempts to bring his daughter Abiki back to life, they failed. Delta looked like his daughter. After all, she is a clone. She talked like his daughter. After all, she is a clone. She had her memories because she is a clone, but she didn't have the soul of her daughter because a clone does not have the same soul as the original. Amato was promised by Jigen that if he helps him find a proper vessel for Ishiki, that Ishiki would grant him his wish to bring his daughter's soul back into Delta's body, which led to Amato helping Jigen kill dozens of children until they found a perfect vessel in Kawaki who was compatible with the Karma Seal. However, Jigen thought he had Amato under his control by dangling a promise to reunite father and son, when in reality, Amato was plotting his downfall and the downfall of Ishiki after that. Also, that he could revive his daughter on his own terms without destroying the planet in the process. Jigen didn't fully see the betrayal coming, and then when he did see it, he didn't take it seriously enough. After all, he was an Otsutsuki vessel. Amato was just a mere human who couldn't use combat abilities, which is why Amato's plan to have Kashi and Koji kill Jigen worked. There's a reason the expression exists. Those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. Mistakes of the past often have lessons for future generations to learn. Yet here we see Code making the same mistakes that his two idols made, which is basically something that makes this situation similar to that of the blind leading the blind. If we go with what we were told in Naruto's manga, the Ten-Tails itself was a creature operating off of instinct, and even in Boruto Naruto Next Generations, we can see that the Ten-Tails that Jigen kept in Ishiki's dimension operated off of sheer instinct as well. Yet when Code broke apart the Ten-Tails and began infusing his chakra into them so as to control them, he's done what Boruto referred to as being a major change. These claw grinds aren't just blindly walking around to devour Otsutsuki. It's implied they have emotions, that they are developing a will of their own, that they can feel fear. We literally see the Ten-Tails communicating with Kawaki, literally speaking to him, calling him an Otsutsuki. That is a really big deal. The Ten-Tails is not supposed to be talking verbally, yet it is talking. It's able to distinguish the difference between a non-Otsutsuki and an Otsutsuki, and it's able to form thoughts and speak them into existence. This is different than when Kaguya, who was a part of the God Tree, was speaking to Madara. This is a different thing. Simply put, the Ten-Tailed soldiers, they're evolving, and if they are evolving, then so too is the actual Ten-Tails that Code has stored away somewhere. That is dangerous territory to be in, and that's not going to end well for Code. He's taking these claw grinds for granted, genuinely believing that he will continue to have power and control over them, and he's being given the warning by Boruto that these claw grinds are indeed slipping out of his control, and it makes sense. He's a human dealing with the object that belongs to the Otsutsuki clan. Something so far beyond the comprehension of the minds of normal humans that even two walking Otsutsuki clan Wikipedias in Sasuke and Amato, both of whom, when you put their knowledge together, are not in full knowledge of all things Otsutsuki, are we really supposed to believe that Code somehow understands the Ten-Tails and its nature better than those two people? Yes, he was right underneath Ishiki's vessel Jigen, and he was given orders directly by Ishiki to harvest a chakra fruit. But when we look at what Orochimaru said in the Boruto anime's car actuation arc after he saw that Victor had created a god tree, we can see just how far Code is actually overstepping his bounds, because Orochimaru has been studying information on the clan, and even Orochimaru says that if a human messes with the chakra fruit, it will cause damage beyond human comprehension. The warnings are there. Ishiki told Code he can turn himself into an Otsutsuki by eating the chakra fruit, but that goes back to the reliability of the narrator. Are we sure we can 100% trust Ishiki, who would know that Code has blind faith for him and he would know he could use it? If Ishiki told Code to kill himself, he'd do just that, just like how followers of a cult will do whatever the cult leader tells them. We've seen this in the real world. Regardless as to how irrational it is, he thinks he has them under control when he's really playing around with something that he truly doesn't understand, and might have been led to believe that he actually understands it, the same way that Madara was fooled by Zetsu the entire time. Zetsu changed the information on the Uchiha clan tablet. Zetsu allowed Madara to think that he was the only one who was planning everything and was going to be the only one who benefited from the infinite Tsukiyomi. Yet, he ended up being the one who was the one being used and backstabbed by the very being that Madara thought he had control over, going so far as to call Zetsu his will, when in reality, Zetsu served another the entire time. Code looks like he's walking down that same path. These claw grinds are looking like they're no different than the 9 Biju. Hagoromo split the Ten-Tails chakra up and used the creation of all things to give the Biju shape and breathe life into them, and they got into a point where they act on their own without being controlled by others. Some of them even choosing to roam free instead of meet in the Biju sanctuary when Naruto called upon them. Just as the Biju have their own mind, I believe these claw grinds have their own minds as well, because the spiritual side of Code's chakra has messed with them to a degree, and Boruto, by being Momoshiki's vessel, has clearly mastered his Karma Seal. He's seen something with these claw grinds using Momoshiki's Shinjutsu to see fragments of the future, or he's learned something through the knowledge that Boruto's gained access from by mastering Momoshiki's Karma. Whatever the case may be, Boruto is sounding the alarm, and I do believe we're at a point where Code might be dangerously close to reaching his goal of becoming an Otsutsuki and ends up being killed off before he can get to it, either by the claw grinds themselves or by the Ten-Tails main body. But something's being set up for Code because he's showing the same foolish arrogance that those before him did. Madara, Jigen, and Ishiki. The only question will be how many more warning signs will Code overlook in the process until it's too late. If it's anything like his interactions with Ada, she made it perfectly clear from as far back as when they first made their alliance that he was expendable to her, and Code overlooked it until Damon gave the "are you kidding me" expression when Code got his limiters removed and started talking like he was him, that he was now someone who couldn't lose to anyone, and Damon had to humble this man real quick while he was waiting on the next episode of Paw Patrol to come on in the background, leaving Code to retreat and be so desperate that he broke apart the Ten-Tailed soldier. It's a poetic twist of fate. He made those claw grinds in response to getting his ass kicked because of his own arrogance, and in the end, that very action and his own arrogance by not listening to Boruto is shaping up to be the very thing that gets him killed as well. That being said, I'm so curious to know what you guys think about this. Do you think Code is setting himself up for failure? While you think that over, click here to watch these other Naruto Explained videos you see on the screen right now.